Morning, another day, another walk. We are at Cromford Canal today. That's the start or the end, depending on which way you come from. And we're going to go from here in Cromford all the way up to Langley Mill, which is about, for us walking, it's going to be about 16 miles, but the canal originally was 14.5 miles. So I'm going to show you the journey. Walking along, and it is an absolutely stunning morning. I mean, I've checked the weather and it's been raining pretty much every day, and then the rain has stopped just for today, potentially only the morning, so we're gonna have to get a move on to get there, but it is spectacular. So as you just saw there, just over there, look, that's the rugby club there. So I think it's either Cromford or Matlock Rugby Club, because we're only a few miles from Matlock. You may have heard of Matlock Bath. Strange place that is. It's like a seaside in the middle of the Peak District. It's really weird. If you get a chance, I'd definitely say go. So behind me, you might be able to see the River Derwent and then the train track that run alongside the canal. I think one thing is going to be a bit tricky today, keeping Bo out of the water. She loves the water. Luckily, she is quite good. She won't go in unless I tell her, so, but yeah, she's not going in today. Way too cold. So we made it to the first major checkpoint, the High Peak Junction. There's some swans here, so I'll show you. So here we go, look, that's where we started. We're here now, and we've got to go all the way to Langley Mill. See, the canal actually uses the River Derwent, especially in the summer, to maintain the water level. They've got pump houses that'll pump water out of the river into the canal to keep it topped up. So this is where the River Derwent goes underneath the canal, look. And then the River Derwent continues that way, all the way to Derby. Just saw a robin redbreast there, very briefly. You may be thinking, why are they called redbreasts when it's actually more of an orange? Well, that's because years ago, they didn't actually have a word for orange, for the colour orange. So it was just called red. Red and orange were just the same colour, so that's why it was called robin redbreasts. So we've got the train track, and then that goes over the canal. See Crouch Tower there. Must be beautiful today with the sun. Tell you what, there are a lot of benches on this walk, and they're all to commemorate different people and their lives. That is one thing I would really like, if I ever pass away, to have a bench on my favourite walk. I think it's a beautiful idea. In Gregory Tunnel now. Not too long, but it does get dark in the middle. Hope you can still see me on the camera. But last time I came, it was hammering it down. And a few people were just hiding in here away from the rain. So they have actually put a railing in. But years ago they didn't have that. I bet a few people fell in. So I have actually done pretty much all the walk apart from the last little bit, but I've never done it together. So I thought I may as well do it. So this is where the canal ends for this part, and it runs underneath this little bridge, and then down, I'll flip the camera, down into the waterworks. However, we're going to carry on. So as you saw there, it's 5¼ miles to Cromford. That's what we've done so far. So we're about a third of the way. But we're going to keep on going and follow where the canal used to be. So we started off up here in Cromford, made our way down to Ambergate, and then now past Bull Bridge, and now this is Sawmills. So we've just got along here to go. Look, we'll be passing my house soon because I live near Butterley. So we're back walking alongside the canal, but this time it's filled in. I'll show you now. Because the canal was built in 1794, or finished in 1794, and it was for transporting the coal up and down Derwent Valley. So you might be able to see that the canal actually gets quite narrow, and that's because they used to check all the boats to make sure they pay the right fees. So you used to narrow, somebody would jump aboard, check the cargo, and then they'd have to pay the appropriate fees. So we're just coming up to one of the tunnels that the canal used to go through. And when you get past here, there's a lovely little pub called the Excavator, but because of COVID it's shut. Would have been a perfect place to have a pint with lunch, but onwards and upwards. Right, so I know I said I didn't want her having a swim, and that's right, I didn't want her having a swim in the canal. We get to a pond up here, and this is where we always come for her to have a swim. I don't know if I'll be able to keep her out, although it's not a big deal because I've got a coat and we do walk past my house, so if need be she can go home, or I could get a towel. There's lots of things so she isn't cold, but we will see. So we normally get to about here, and as you can see she's shooting off to go to the water. So we'll see if we can get her back. Well, come on. She's being a good girl today. So just walked around the pond. You can see where Bo jumped in. She loves the water, really does. Beautiful area. Speaking about advice, if anybody on here has got any advice for me about my videos, I would really appreciate it, because I'm only new. I've not been doing it very long. So any way I can get better, take your advice on board, I'd really appreciate it. So thank you. just coming up to halfway now, and it is much more prominent than it was a moment ago of where the canal actually is. Because you've got the walkway behind me, and then you've got the actual canal there. So, looking good. Something going to be my New Year's resolution is to be more thankful. I mean, it's so tempting to just be like, oh, want those walking boots, or want that jacket. It's this want mentality that I'm trying to stop. There's things I need, then things I want. And I'm just going to try and be more thankful of the stuff I've got. So, put in the comments what your New Year's resolution is. So, just crossed the 610. And you might be able to see behind me, is a bit more prominent, the canal again. So we're going to follow this into Butterley and go around Butterley Reservoir, and I'll show you the train as well. That's interesting. So stay tuned. So here we have where it's the tunnel, and it's been blocked off as well as gated shut. So obviously we have to go over the top, but they would have gone through the tunnel. So here's the Butterley track. This is Hammersmith Station, and then you can just about see the trains up there. So as I'm walking, I found this, and what this is a vent for the tunnel, because underneath my feet is where the tunnel's running. Just gone past the police headquarters over there. So we're going to keep moving. Like I say, it's not that much to see because we're just following the path of the tunnel. When we get to the other side, there'll be plenty to see. Christmas, what have you got to have with your lunch? Mince pie. Bo's sticking close because I had my sausage roll, dropped half of it. She was straight on it. Gutted. She ain't getting this though. Interesting tree here with carvings on it. That's like a king. There's like a house on top, a crest, and some beast. Very unusual. So there we go, there's the canal. A bit further down, you can't really get to it, is the opening of the tunnel. So we're going to carry on following this down now. So this is where Cromford Canal runs into Codnor Reservoir and then goes back out the other side. So we'll follow it round and then we'll carry on. So this is where Codnor Reservoir turns back into Cromford Canal. So we're going to take the footpath and follow it round. So waterfall one side, and then there's a load of froth, frothing up the water. And we'll carry on. See, what you saw there was one of the old keys, one of the old lock keys. So, I don't know if you've seen it, but the canal goes in, they open one gate, they open the other gate so the water level adjusts, and then they shut the other gate, fully open the other one, and you can swim out. But obviously there's no key now, so the water just falls straight down. Water level today, it's flooded the path there. Look, there's the bridge, it's flooding that. Bo's demonstrating. I tell you what, I'm so glad I came out today. It's literally been raining day after day after day, and it's even meant to rain tonight. But it's just held up for this morning and now. and it's been brilliant. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. Like I say, I've done loads of this walk, just never together. So I think it's brilliant. And if you're thinking about it, you don't have to do the full thing. You can park up, and if you go to Cromford to Ambergate, you can get the train back, or do the other half and get the bus back. There's loads of ways you can do it. It's definitely worth it. Definitely. So we made it. We had to double back on ourselves because the last little bit you can't actually walk alongside because it's all new buildings and industrial estates. So we just walked along the road in the end. But yeah, really nice behind us, nice pretty area. So you can just about see Cromford, 14, and then the half's rubbed out, but that's where we started. And then we made it to the end of the line. Somebody's actually draining the water from this part so that it will level off, they can float in, and then they'll come up to this side. So I might stick around and watch that. There's the boat raising up, look. So it was at that level, and it's gone up, and then it will just go, open the gates and go straight through. So if you've liked this video, please give it a like. Would really appreciate any subscribes. It really helps the channel, and I take it as a massive compliment. So that's the day done. We're just going to say bye. So saying bye from Rob, and another day, another walk.